And hello, everyone. Welcome to another power scanning session. It is May 3rd, 2025. My name is Daniel Sinek. I'm going to be walking you through the best setups for the week ahead in this webinar. But before we get into it, let me ask you guys a question. Where are you calling in from? Who do we have in the room today for this beautiful Saturday afternoon scanning session? Please put your location into the Q&A box. I myself am calling in from Brazil once again. Sunny, hot, steamy Brazil here in Fortaleza near the equator, right at the beach. I don't want to make you guys jealous. Just saying I'm living the life of a trader. All right, so who do we have? Who do we have today? All right. So David from Frankfurt. Hey, David, how's it going? How are you? Aubrey from Cyprus. And it rained yesterday. Oh boy. Sorry to hear that. Tough life, Aubrey. um, Edda also from Cyprus. Oh, so Aubrey and Edda from Cyprus today. That must be a first one. But I have heard that Cyprus is indeed an island where a lot of trading companies are situated. So actually not that surprising. All right. Hey, Edda. I know you're from Hamburg originally, so nice to see you that you've been traveling to Cyprus, also living the life of a trader. Gerd from Germany, Münsterland. Hey Gerd, how's it going? Andrea from Hamburg. Hi Andrea. Wie geht's? Moin Moin in Hamburg. Christian, also Hamburg. Wow. So we have Edda, Andrea, and Christian from Hamburg today. Great. Awesome. Robert from San Diego. Hey, Robert, how's it going over there in San Diego? Nice. Ed from Virginia. Hey, Ed, how are you? We have Keith from the Scottish borders, not in England, in Scotland, on the other side of the border. Hey, Keith, how's it going? And John from New Jersey. Hey, John, what's up? And Aubrey said Cyprus is full of German software engineers. Yeah, escaping German tax. Yes, yes. Yeah. Is it a tax haven over there? I've heard of some traders or trading educators who moved their business from Germany all the way to Cyprus to save on business tax. But yeah, I guess the tax situation is a bit more relaxed in Cyprus as compared to Germany. All right, no capital gains tax, huh? Okay, good for trading, I guess. Okay, all right, guys, let's get into it. So, first off, my name is Daniel Sinek. I'm the guy here on the left-hand side. And as you know, I am with tradingindicators.com, a software company. So we're also in the software business, in fact, but software for trading. So we've built, our specialty is to build trading tools, mainly trading indicators. We've built a lot of them, hundreds of them for clients all over the world. But we've also built fully standalone trading tools, such as the Liquidity View dashboard, which we will use today to find the most interesting swing trading setups for the week ahead. And this dashboard is designed to simplify, not to make it more complicated, but to simplify your trading approach, because I believe, or we believe, that there is a thing of beauty in simplicity. And if things are simple and straightforward, oftentimes they're more clear, and oftentimes they're just more clean that way, and you find the better setups. So this is what we're going to be doing today. Also, if you have any questions, please don't be shy. Put those questions into the Q&A box, and Niklas will keep an eye out for these questions and bring them to my attention as I proceed through this presentation. All right, but I also need to remind you that, of course, trading stocks and futures and all the other asset classes does contain substantial risk, and therefore is not suited for every investor. If you trade, make sure to only use risk capital, which is money that you actually can afford to lose. When it comes to backtest performance or hypothetical performance, keep in mind that this is not necessarily indicative of future performance, and any trade ideas and strategies discussed in this webinar should not be construed as trade advice. These are for educational purposes only. Okay, so with this out of the way, let's go through some housekeeping items. First off, and Niklas, please put this link into the chat box. I will be kicking off the MetaStock trading conference this Monday, I believe at 10 a.m. I should check the time, but if you go to this link here, tradingindicators.com/metastock, you'll see the starting time. I believe it's 10 a.m. tomorrow. It's a 5-day trading conference with many really great trading educators joining this conference. And the theme is thriving in uncertain markets, how to deal with the volatility that we are seeing right now. So please put this, Nicholas, please put this link into the chat box. And if you are interested, guys, register completely for free at tradingindicators.com/metastock. And this is a full week conference, so don't miss out on it. Tradingindicators.com/metastock. Also, if you register, by the way, you will be eligible for many of the free goodies that will be given out during this conference. These are only available to people who register, so please make sure to sign up if you are interested. Also, if you have not watched our bootcamp about the Liquidity View dashboard yet, you can rewatch it here at tradingindicators.com/bootcamp, and this link will also be put into the chat box. Discord. Don't forget about our Discord channel. It's completely for free at tradingindicators.com/Discord, where you can find, for example, a fully automated trade alerts about upcoming swing trades or upcoming day trades, where you can follow and engage with our trading community. We are posting charts all week long in our Trading Talk channel. Smaller timeframes mainly, but also some larger timeframes. So don't miss out on this. Tradingindicators.com/Discord. And last but not least, we will in this session interactively scan for the best setups for the week ahead using our Liquidity View dashboard. And it would be best if you just follow along. And even if you don't have a subscription yet, you can get one right now this second simply by going to tradingindicators.com/view. This link is also in the chat box, and you sign up for a 1-week free trial. No strings attached. You can cancel at any time. You will not be charged today at tradingindicators.com/view. And most importantly, you will get access right away. So instant access, and you can follow along that way. So if you don't have access yet, check it out here. All right. And last but not least, yes.
Before we get into it, we have a question from Joe Martin. He says,
"Oh, Nicholas, you're very quiet, by the way. Maybe it's just me. Can you maybe try it again?"
Seconds. This should be better. Yeah. So Joe Martin asks, does Liquidity View work on any type of computer, Apple, Microsoft, laptop, etc.?
Yeah, it's browser-based. So all you need to do is to have an internet connection, and then you can open up the dashboard. It will run just in your Chrome browser or in your Safari, whatever you're using, Microsoft Edge, no problem. You can use the dashboard. So it's internet-based, no installation needed. Yeah, that's it. Very simple to use.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nicholas, for bringing this to my attention. Okay, so the last two things. If you have not downloaded our ebook, The Power of Three, yet, please do it. It's free, of course, at tradingindicators.com/power-of-3. This link will also be put into the chat. And in this ebook, we detail a bit further the trading strategies that we use to find the most interesting swing trades for the week ahead. So the power of 3. And lastly, if you have any suggestions as to further improve our dashboard, as you know, we always listen to our users. The best features that we've integrated into the dashboard, they came from ideas from our users. So if you have any further ideas, please don't be shy, put those into the Q&A box and we will review them. And if possible, there's a good chance that we will actually implement them into the future version of our dashboard. So please don't be shy with this either. With this, let's get into it. Without further ado, let's start with our market review. And wow, what a week it's been again, eh? Who would have thought? A very bullish week overall. So let me switch over to the dashboard. Here we have it. And let's start our market review. I'm going to start with the SPY. All right, the S&P 500 ETF. Okay, it's crunch time. It's decision time very soon in the SPY. Why do I see this? Well, the reason I'm saying it is this little innocent looking line here. Do you see this red line? This little red line here, it's a bit thin, but this line has a big significance in my point of view. This was a support level back in the day here. So this level was broken. So prices broke below support. They went down a little bit, then they corrected back up to this level, which at this point acted as resistance. Because as we know, when support is broken, it will switch roles. Support will become resistance. And this is exactly what happened here. Prices bounced off this level to the downside. And now, once again, what do you see here? Prices are approaching this level. And now the question is, what's going to happen next? How will prices react when they're coming closer to this level? Will they bounce off once again from this level? If yes, I think we may see a bigger correction, potentially even towards this level here. That's in the books. If we, however, break this level, go above 575 here, then I think new all-time highs are very much in the picture for the SPY. So this is going to be a big decision. And as you perhaps have read in our newsletter, which came out last Monday, we're going to let the market decide of where it wants to go next. So we're not going to take any position right now. We're going to wait and see to see how the market reacts to this level. So very exciting times ahead. I think we're probably going to know by Monday or Tuesday how prices will react to this level. It's very similar on the QQQs. So let me quickly go here to the QQQs. Also here, it's decision time. Of course, the QQQs, the Nasdaq 100 ETF, always looks quite similar to the SPY. Also here, you can see it here. We are approaching this resistance level. And once again, we have to see how prices will react to this level. Will we bounce up or power through it? If we power through it, get above it, then I think also here new all-time highs are very much in the picture. So decision time also here for the QQQs. Let's move on. What about the Russell? Oops. The IWM, the Russell 2000 ETF. Let's have a quick look. So here I had a theory which was disproven last week. But we don't know yet. The verdict is not completely out yet. So here, you can see it here. We broke support a couple of weeks back here on April 1st. We broke below this level. Prices went all the way down, then came up back to this support level. And I thought perhaps, this is where we were last week, this is our zone break retrace setup. I warned you guys that, hey, probably going to see this gap to be filled, which happened on, I believe, Wednesday, give or take. And this could have been a good sign. Hey, perhaps we're going to bounce to the lower side again. This is not what happened. Prices went above this level, but they gapped up. So now the question is, okay, this gap to the downside is likely to get filled. I mean, likely, who knows? But it is not. It is oftentimes these gaps are getting filled. If it does, prices will need to come down all the way here again, and perhaps then a leg lower will start in the Russell. So here I'm much less bullish in the Russell, simply because also this symbol has been quite a mess in the last years. Look how ranging the Russell was. So we didn't even make all-time highs back here on this high point. It was simply the same level that we had reached already in 2021. So much less bullish. The overall trend is not as bullish as for the SPY and the QQQs. And who knows what's going to happen. It is not impossible that we're going to fill this gap and then this leg lower will start. Also, big week ahead here for the Russell. All right, gold, GLD. All right. Okay, gold is getting really interesting. What has happened? Well, for the first time in quite a while, we are seeing a bigger correction in gold. Right now, it's a level 3 pullback. Why do I say level 3? Well, because I'm counting here 1, 2, 3 red levels on my trend radar indicator. These are the short-term and medium-term trends. They have turned down. Obviously, you can see it here. We turned down. However, what I really would love to see is a fully fledged level 4 pullback, something like this, which holds on for a longer time. Because if this happens, first off, the gaps that we see here, they're a bit hard to see with MA Rush on. We'll switch it off real quick. These gaps, this gap from here to here, and this gap from here to here are likely to get filled. A much deeper correction. And this, if this happens, this could be a prime opportunity to re-enter into this very bullish trend. But because I've tried it so many times to be very conservative with gold, maybe it could already right now be an interesting idea to scale in very lightly into a long position, just so that we don't lose out as we did here when I said, hey, let's wait a bit longer. for this gold price to come all the way down and then we get in. Well, it did, and then of course, we completely blasted off. I'm happy with this pullback. I'm hoping for at least the level 4 pullback, but this could be a great opportunity to enter long into this correction at a much better price as where gold was before. All right. So that was gold. What about oil? Oh boy, oil is at a juncture, a critical juncture. And here the question is, will the 2-year sideways action going to be broken right now to the downside? Why do I say this? And why do I say 2 years sideways? Okay, actually, let me quickly and put my drawing tool out here so you can see it a bit closer. All right. Okay, so what did we have here? Well, we are basically in this sideways consolidation channel. Here to the lower side and here to the upper side. Every time, or many times when prices approached either extreme of this channel, we saw a significant bounce. All right. And in fact, oil was, this is the United States Oil Fund here as a proxy for oil. But every time oil approached a lower end, we saw a sharp retracement to the upside. Guess where oil is right now once again? Well, it's right here again, once again, at the extreme, the lower extreme of this sideways channel. Another question is, well, what's going to be happening next? Are we going to bounce off one more time? Or if not, are we going to see another leg further down? It definitely feels a bit bearish here. So it's not as like we quickly approach the level and then bounced off. Oil actually dropped step by step towards this level. And it feels more bearish than it normally does. I still think we may see a bounce, but this pattern itself, it looks a bit bearish to me, and perhaps oil will just grind lower towards perhaps a new low here at 57, of course, new low in recent history, or perhaps even further than this. Okay, and one more before we move on to our scanning. Bitcoin. Oh boy. You know what? Bitcoin, I was very happy, and don't be irritated by this horrible drawing. In fact, let me just delete this drawing first. I was trying to draw this on in my previous webinar with CapTrader, which I did in German. What I was trying to say about Bitcoin is this formation here that you see. See this little very steep upwards move and then the sideways pattern? From a technical analysis point of view, what is that? That's a flag pattern. It's a flag, a bull flag. And of course, as the name suggests, a bull flag is a bullish pattern. And oftentimes prices will then break out of this flag, as we've seen right now, and then the real move continues. From this point of view, in fact, let me try to draw it one more time, but perhaps a little bit clearer, this bull flag. So here, go to my brush tool. Hopefully it's the right color. So up here, yes, flag post. And then we had this consolidation pattern here. That's such an ugly flag. Drawing never was a good thing that I had, but it looks a little bit like as a flag, as you can see here, right? It's a flag, and then we broke out of this flag. This is a bullish pattern. Bitcoin broke out of it, and who knows? Maybe we're gonna see an approach to all-time highs in the short-term future, maybe the next 2 weeks. It's only, in quotes, only 12,000 points away. Wow, we're talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin, moves at light speed. So you can see it here. We moved here from 75,000 to 70,000 in like 3 weeks. That's 20 something thousand points. So anything is possible. And now perhaps another attempt at all-time highs are definitely in the books for Bitcoin. All right, guys. Any questions so far? Nicholas?
Oh, you're clear to continue, Daniel.
Good to continue. All right, guys. But if you have questions, as I mentioned before, please put them into the Q&A box and we're going to discuss them in this webinar. Okay, so back to my slides. And now let's scan for the most interesting setups for the week ahead. And, we do always discuss similar setups. And before I actually show you what setups these are, let's quickly review what we found last week and how these turned up. So for this, I'm going to quickly go to our watch list here from last week, from April 27. All right. And let's start with our one of our favorite stocks ever, AJG, Arthur J. Gallagher. All right, a monster of a stock, a super, super bullish stock. And in fact, let me just clear out the this a little bit here so it's a bit clearer to see. All right, just a second while this is loading. Because for Arthur J. Gallagher, we did announce, perfect. Okay, or we did announce a bullish trade setup. Why was I saying this? Because uh, AJG last week was exactly at the support level, and we thought, hey, perhaps a nice bullish entry opportunity. It struggled a bit throughout the week, but then on Friday, of course, a huge move up. And now we're right in the middle, in between support and resistance. So this one is working out just as planned. And of course, Arthur J. Gallagher is one of those stocks which are just unstoppable. Every pullback has been bought up in recent history almost immediately. So once again, here we had a pullback. Oh, we suggested this for a long entry, and now look how far we went up. So beautiful one there. The Anson Group. What's going on here? Also here we did have a bullish setup, beautiful move down off this level here. I drew this little square here just to be aware that we do have another support level right below, but it seems like this stock is bouncing off nicely as predicted. The only concern I have right now is that we are approaching this resistance level where we may see a bounce off, so that be aware of this. Heritage Insurance Holdings, what did we have here? Okay, this was a zone break retrace setup, which I had in mind. I was hoping our prices would come down all the way here. They did not. They came down a little bit, but then they took off. So here, maybe let's wait a little bit. Maybe we're gonna go down to this level once again, and then this could be an interesting long opportunity. I am Gold Corp. Also for zone break retrace at the time. Here, we just get our fill. We only get our fill on, I guess, on Thursday. We're still right on this zone here. It's a nice bullish setup after a strong move up, and if you get the fill here, the idea is, of course, that prices will take off from this broken resistance level to newer highs. Two more, PCAR or PACCAR. Yeah, here. Oh boy, look at this drawing here. Let me take this drawing off. There we go. Yeah, pretty much unchanged, directly at the support level. So everything is still possible. And then T-Mobile, I think this was brought up by one of our users back then for a nice bullish setup after this level 4 pullback on trend radar. And yes, prices are moving up nicely in the attempt to fill this gap here. Of course, we still have a gap down here, but yeah, also T-Mobile is an interesting stock to look at for a bullish setup. Okay, but this was last week. Now let's go for this week's setup. So we're gonna do the same thing as last week. We're gonna focus on one setup at a time. Based on what we find interesting, we're gonna create a hot list, and then at the end, we're gonna go through this hot list to see which of these setups are the most promising ones. All right, so what are these setups? We're gonna start off with our healthy pullback setup combined with a bounce. What are these setups? So a healthy pullback is something that we see over and over again in a strongly trending stock. So condition number one is we need to have a stock or a symbol which has been in a trend for a long time. Perhaps in this case, in a long term, in an uptrend. Now, every trend, or there's no trend which just goes up in a straight line. Every once in a while, the trend will take a break and it will correct to the downside. You can see it here. Prices got this all-time high and then they went down and corrected. And we call this a healthy pullback. And this healthy pullback is signaled to us by our trend radar indicator. You can see it here. And these healthy pullbacks, in fact, these are interesting opportunities to get in cheap into this long-term uptrend. Okay? Of course, we, as trend traders, if we're playing the long direction, we want to buy as cheap as possible and to sell, of course, as high as possible. And this pullback allows us to do this. So how can we find this pullback? Quite easy. Oops, 1 second. What happened here? Okay, back to the dashboard, and let's enter this criteria. So for this, I'm going to go back to the end of day scanner. There we go. And since this pullback will be shown to us by our trend radar indicator, now we're going to use this pullback column here, which is based on this indicator. So we're going to go here and select level 4. These are my favorite pullbacks. The last row of trend radar is still bullish, and the first 4 rows are bearish. That means long term we're still bullish, but we corrected quite a bit in this long-term trend. So that's done. We can see here that we have 50, only 50 stocks, which are right now in a level 4 pullback. And that's not very surprising because stock prices went up so much in the last week that barely any stock has pulled back to level 4. Okay, so that's step number 1. Step number 2 is I want to only focus on bullish stocks, which are long-term bullish as per our MA Rush indicator. All right, so now we're down to 42 stocks. And lastly, I'm going to sort now by trend duration by simply clicking on this MA Rush column here. All right, so what do we see? Well, the first one here, that's an interesting one. Rush Enterprise Class B, whatever that stock might be. Let's click on it. It's bullish for 1,164 trading days. You can see it here. Let me just zoom out a little bit. This is actually a really unknown one to me. And yeah, it's definitely, oops, stuff my drawing too long. It's definitely a bullish stock. And let me just quickly see in which sector the stock is in. I'm going to quickly go to my column configurator here and select actually country, sector, industry. Let's have a quick look. So that one is in the United States, okay, in the consumer cyclical auto and truck dealership. All right, let's have a quick look here in our list. Rush Enterprises and its subsidiaries operate an integrated retailer of commercial vehicles. Okay, commercial vehicle retailing based out of Texas. All right. That's an interesting one. There we go. And this one is right now in a level 4 pullback, which potentially could be an interesting long opportunity. But let me just go back a little bit here. What are the buts that we see here? Well, first off, you know, we did just bounce off this resistance level here. You can see this here, prices wicked up exactly to this resistance level, which was given to us by our liquidity IQ indicator. And I think it is not unlikely in this case that prices will actually perhaps even go down to this support level here and then take off. So here I would stay on the sidelines for a potential long trade. I think this level 4 correction might go on for a little bit longer. If we come down a bit further, then I would think about a long entry here. I think right now it's a bit risky to go long this particular stock. But this also brings up an important point. Wouldn't it be nice if we could combine our pullback filter with the fact that this stock actually pulled back to a key support level instead of just being somewhat in the middle here where there's no significant level? Yes, that is possible. How do we do it? By simply going to our Liquidity IQ setup filter here and select long bounce. Done. Whoa, look at what happened here. Only 3 stocks survived this very stringent filter. Let's check it out. The first one is Brinker International. All right. EAT, ticker symbol. They are behind a couple of restaurant franchises. And we can see it here. This is a much more interesting setup. Look at this huge move up. Of course, a correction afterwards. But now we got to the lower end of this move, right to this support level. I think this is a prime opportunity to potentially go long here. So I'm going to add this one to our watch list. So back here, I'm going to create a new watch list. There we go. Create new setups. 2000 second 25/05/03, May 3rd. All right. Done. Okay. And we're going to add this stock to our watch list. Perfect. Edit. Okay. What's the second one here? Coastal Financial Corp and Banks Regional. Okay. All right. Regional banking has been, they've been pulling back a little bit, but overall, most of those banks, they are very bullish, as you can see it here. All-time high, a very quick move up, lengthy correction, but I also like this one here for a long trade. These corrections, don't get me wrong, these can be lengthy. Yeah, especially after a strong move up, they can drag out for weeks and almost years that the stock will be sideways and eventually it's going to break out. But every time the stock approaches the lower end of this correctional phase, this could be an interesting long entry opportunity. So I'm going to also add this one to our watch list for potential long entry. All right. Done. And last but not least, 1895 Bancorp of Wisconsin. Yeah. Another regional bank. So you can see the financial service regional banks. Yeah, they've been pulling back lately, but overall they have been bullish. But I think here I will stay on the sidelines. You know what? It's a bit messy. They only got bullish recently here on on August 19th, 2024, before this quite bearish. So this is yeah, a bit too wild for my taste. I'm gonna stay on the sidelines for this particular one. Okay. So one more thing I want to do with my bounce setups. Sometimes, you know, having the level 4 pullback requirement is a bit too stringent and we may miss out on some interesting opportunities. So I'm going to take off this filter here and see which other stocks do we have right now which are in this area, which are at a support level, which is not necessarily level 4 pullback, but they're still at the support level and they are in the long-term uptrend. So Linde PLC. All right, that's our first one here. You can see it here directly at a support level, but this is a stock I would never trade outright. I don't know what's happening here, but these spikes in the market, they're scary. They're huge spikes. This basically prohibits me from trading this stock with any outright, at least, perhaps with options. But having a stop loss in place, these stops will be taken out with any of these spikes. I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm very volatile at times, but right now it's at this support level. You can see it here. And potentially, if you are willing to perhaps use options for this one, this could be an interesting opportunity for a call option trade, for example, betting on the fact that we're going to bounce off this level towards higher levels. Because this is a long-term uptrending stock. You can see it here. Yeah, but trading it outright, potentially not, but with options, it could be a good idea. So I'm going to also add this one, oops, to our watch list. Linde PLC. All right. Hubble Inc. Okay. All right. Hubble Inc. And I'm just curious, one second, why? Oh no, all good. Yeah, Hubble Inc. is, yeah. Let me just have a quick look. Of course, this stock went up quite a bit in recent history. A deep, deep pullback. Yeah, as you may expect after such a big move up. And here I would be, yeah, it's definitely at the lower end. And if you're thinking, hey, this pullback has seen its low point all the way down here, maybe still a good opportunity to enter long in this particular stock. Yeah, but I would give it a wide stop loss below the swing low. Yeah, but still, this could be an interesting long opportunity. So I'm going to add this one to our list. All right. Perfect. So you can see here how we can just go through the list step by step to see to find interesting setups. One I wanted to mention, one that's perhaps a bit more well known, is Chipotle Mexican Grill. Yeah, I think we had this a few times in our options alerts too. This one seems to me, it kind of feels like that it has found its low point after this huge move up. Yeah, of course, after big moves up, the stock will correct for a while. I think this one here may have been the low point after this wild correction, and this could also be an interesting opportunity for a long entry, especially since prices are just above the support level around this cluster here, and we could speculate that prices may go up towards the upper end of this consolidation phase here, around 66.73. So I'm going to add this one as well to our list. All right. With this, Niklas, do we have any questions so far? I'm going to take some water to rest my throat a little bit.
Nice. Yeah, we do. One from Christian. He says, famous technical analyst Tom DeMark warned of a major correction in the SPY that he's predicting, I guess, in an interview just today or yesterday. Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's possible. We are not out of the woods yet. So I'm going to go back to the SPY real quick. Yeah, if you look at the technical pattern, as I mentioned, it's decision time. So I think it's going to depend a lot on how we react to this level here. It looks very innocent, as I mentioned in the beginning, but if we bounce of this level towards the middle here, and then perhaps even approach this level and break this one. It seems like we're miles away right now, and break this one, then I think this low point here was not the end of the line, and when we see another low point. So we're not out of the woods. If we get above this level, well, then I think it might be blue skies ahead. We're gonna see new all-time highs, but this level to me is going to be critical. We're gonna see what happens. But yeah, we're not out of the woods yet. This may just be another, zone break retrace attempt, and we're gonna fly to the downside again. It is possible.
Perfect. And then from Aubrey, just says, hey, he actually bought CCB, that stock, on a zone break retrace at $80 on May 1st.
CCB,
Yeah, I think
coastal. Oh, we
we
just
had it.
discussed it. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Excellent choice, Aubrey. Congratulations. When did you buy it again, Nicholas? What did
May
you say?
1st, so just Thursday.
Ah, great. Yeah. I think that's an interesting one. I wonder if they pay dividends. Let me quickly see. Of course, we also have dividend scanning in our dashboard. X-day dividend yield? No, nothing. Okay. No dividends to be expected here. But yeah, definitely a nice technical setup, Aubrey.
And then Gerald says, is it possible to add an implied volatility column?
Yeah, we don't have this data point, unfortunately. That's not part of our data subscription that we have right now with the dashboard. So as it stands right now, Jared, Gerald, it's not possible.
Perfect, thank you. And then finally from Gerd, in Bitcoin, there's a triangle in the M5 to 1 hour. Above this, there was another trend channel in 1 hour. So I
Yeah,
think on the intraday time frame, there's a pattern forming.
yeah, possibly. We can check this out maybe in our session on Tuesday, where we're going to be looking more at intraday trading. But right now, I believe on BTC, on Bitcoin, it's really a flag pattern that we just broke out from. So you can see this beautiful flag I drew. And what's also cool about Bitcoin is that we respected almost to the T this broken resistance level, which is now acting as which is now acting as support. And yeah, it's looking bullish to me on Bitcoin overall. Yeah.
Perfect.
For
And then the
the
last one is actually from Christian, and I think we'll leave that for the end, right? Symbol request,
Yeah,
Apple and Amazon.
yeah, we'll do this at the end. Perfect. Yeah, please stay tuned for this. All right.
Okay, good.
And real quick, how do we calculate support and resistance levels? Well, that's a little bit our secret sauce of the indicator, but just to give you a kind of an idea of what happens behind the scene, three factors play a role for calculating these levels. First off, we do a multi-time frame analysis, looking at various higher time frames, higher than the chart time frame, to get this information. Secondly, we look at swing points. Let's see the swing points here, which oftentimes, if it's a swing high, give us a resistance level, or a swing low, it will give us a support level. And thirdly, we look at volume, making sure that there's also a certain degree of volume at these levels to make this significant. All these things put together will give us these support and resistance levels. All right, good. Moving on to the next setup. So we discussed the healthy pullback and the bounce setup. But as I always say, unfortunately in life, everything at some point comes to an end. So that meaning that every support level is likely to be broken at some point, and every resistance level is likely to be broken to the upside at some point. But if this happens, new opportunities are opening up for us as well. Why? Well, because oftentimes after a zone break, there will be quite a bit of a follow through in the direction of the breakout. You can see it here. We had a support zone break to the downside and a nice follow through. And that's a big but be aware that after the initial breakout move, oftentimes there's a retracement back to the broken zone. We call this the zone break retrace setup. You can see it here, back to the support level, and then the move takes off. Or also here, for this resistance break, initial move up in the direction of the break, of course, the long direction here, then the retracement back to the broken zone, and then the move really takes off. So be aware of this. And in fact, this setup by itself is actually quite powerful. We call this zone break retrace. It's quite rare to spot, but since we're scanning through 5,000 plus stocks, In fact, it's not that rare to find. So let's use our scanner to find at least a couple of stocks which have exactly this setup. So I'm going to go here to my liquidity IQ setup column once again, and we'll select long break retrace. We can see from our almost 5,000 stocks right now, only 7 stocks satisfy this criteria. What I like to do in this case is I like to sort by trend duration. I may rush here from highest to lowest. That's already done. And then I'm just going to go through these ones. Banco Chile ADR is our first candidate. All right. Yeah, regional banking based out of Chile, but traded in the New York Stock Exchange. And let's check it out. Definitely bullish for 578 trading days. Another regional banking. Let me just zoom out a little bit. It's quite volatile, lots of ups and downs, but you can see definitely it's an uptrend. And we recently made all-time highs. Of course, that was a requirement for this. So this resistance level here was broken. We shot up, and then now we're retracing back to this level. There's a bit of a gap here just below. I do think, if prices come down towards this level here, this could be an interesting long opportunity. So let me just go in here, put my little rectangle in here. So if prices perhaps come down to this level, maybe a long trade is not the worst idea here, anticipating that this bullish move will continue once it finds support here, and support by this broken resistance level. I'm going to add this one to our watch list as well. Okay, then another Chilean stock. I think it's related somehow to the first one. It has a very similar pattern. So we're not going to double dip on this one. So we're going to move on to the next one. Vista Gold Corp. All right. What's going on here? Yeah, look at this one. Oh, it's unfortunately basically a penny stock, but yeah, also in a bullish state. We made an all-time high. Now prices are pulling back to this former resistance level. And if you want to gamble a little bit, potentially put a long trade in here, skin to this position in the anticipation that, hey, this is a penny stock. Maybe prices are going to fly off from this level. However, just keep in mind that, of course, gold or the gold price currently is in a correctional phase as well. So this may come down a bit deeper. But you know what? I'm going to keep this also on our watch list for later. Okay, and one more. This one here, Franco-Nevada Corp. All right, FNW. Oh yeah, beautiful zone break retrace. I do see a yellow flag already just by looking at this, but yeah, bullish stock. We made an all-time high, retraced back to this broken resistance level. And yes, potentially a good candidate for a long trade. The only thing I don't like is this one here. Look what you see from this candle here to this candle. That's a gap. And this gap, it feels like it's going to get filled. But if you get down to this level, okay, I'd say that this could be an interesting long opportunity. So just make sure that, hey, you give this enough room to at least have this gap fill here. Okay. And of course, if we go below this level, maybe it's even going to retrace back to this one here. So maybe you want to put your stop loss below the swing point. Play this from a very conservative point of view. And yeah, anticipate that, hey, this long-term uptrend is going to continue eventually, and maybe scale into this position as prices will likely fall, at least to fill this gap. I want to add this also to our hot list. All right. Any questions for these kind of scans that we had so far?
I don't think so, Daniel. Let me just catch up on the last one here. No, not for these setups specifically, but our past one, EAT. David just mentioned that it had earnings and dropped around 15%. How soon after reporting earnings would you consider taking entering back into a stock?
Oh, very soon. Yeah, these drops can be great opportunities to just buy into the panic. Perhaps there were some panic sellers, bad earnings came out, prices dropped quickly, but then things normalized quickly. So I would not wait at all. Let me just quickly check this setup real quick. We just had it. Eat 1 second. Sort this here. Where is this good? Oh, there we go. All right. No, Brinker International. Yes. All right. Yeah, big drop here, gap, but it gapped down to the support level. So to me, I mean, I personally would not would consider going long at these levels here. So there's a lot of things that call for a long trade here. First off, super bullish for a long time, a huge move up. I feel like we found the low point in this correctional phase. Long entry. We have a gap here to fill. For this gap to be filled, prices need to move up at least to this level. So even right now, this could be a nice high reward to low risk trade. So I would not wait. All right. So let's have a look at our hot list. Which stocks stand out the most? All right. And in fact, let's just start with EAT right now. So I like the fact that we have this gap here to fill. That is something encouraging. And to me, or right at the support level, I would consider going long uh, this particular stock in the anticipation that, hey, we're going to bounce off the support level and we want to fill this gap and we are long-term bullish. So 3 good factors in our favor. I like this setup. I'm going to add this to our trade notes. All right. By the way, if you're joining us for the first time, you can add trade notes to every single symbol. These are all time-stamped. You can add multiple of these ones. You can even add your own commentary, your own wording, and you can even dictate your trade notes. All right. Okay, so that one is added. Okay, next one. CMG, Chipotle Mexican Grill. I like this one too. It feels to me that this correctional phase, and it might as well be a sideways phase for a while, but we are at the lower end of the sideways channel. Could be an interesting long opportunity. Ideally, I want to see prices come down to this level here. Definitely a stop loss just below here, at least. So a bit of a wider stop loss. But here the bet or the anticipation would be prices will bounce off this level, at least towards the middle, in between this channel. So I like this one too for a long trade. All right. Adding this. Done. Okay. Moving on. CCB, Coastal Financial Corp. That's the one that Aubrey is in. And Aubrey and I, we are so in sync oftentimes with our trades. So I like this one a lot. Nice zone breaker. Or was it the one, Aubrey? I forgot. Was it the one, Nicholas, that Aubrey suggested? I believe so, no?
Sorry, I
Maybe I
was
missed.
muted. Yeah, it is. It was CCB.
Yeah. Nice bounce situation here of this support level. And yeah, I like it a lot for a long trade. Of course, your stop loss would be somewhere here, or maybe even a bit lower. And the anticipation is that we at least are going to get towards this resistance level here around 100. So I like this one as well. Adding it. Okay. Okay. BCH, Banco de Chile. Okay. Well, I just don't know anything about this Chilean stock and what is going on over there. But it's in regional banking. It's in a long-term uptrend. And if you just want to follow your fundamentals, my guess is that we're going to see the gap fill here. If we do, it is not unlikely we're going to see a retracement even a bit further towards the support level. And if you're willing to play this with a really, really wide stop loss below this level and scale in, this could be an interesting stock as well. I'm just not convinced that we're going to stop at this broken resistance level for our retracement. We have a gap here and, it's kind of a volatile stock. But if you're willing to give it more room, this could be an interesting one to scale in right now. So I'm going to add this anyways to our book. All right. Come on. Franco-Nevada Corp. Okay. For a long break retrace. Similar situation. I don't like this gap. I like the way it shut up, but I feel the correction that we're going to see now is not going to stop here. So, I mean, I might be completely wrong, but this gap is scaring me. Not scaring. I'm not scared, but it's concerning me a little bit. If we fill this gap, I think we're going to also get towards this level. So here I'm going to stay on the sidelines for this reason. Hubble Inc. All right. For a long bounce. Okay. A long bounce and the level, a nice pullback. I mean, it feels like we have reached the low point of this deep correction. But the fact that we crossed this support level to the downside quite a bit early on this month or in April concerns me a little bit. So here I'm going to stay on the sidelines. It looks kind of rangy here in this level, which may take a while to resolve. So this one I'm going to skip. Linde PLC, as I said, only with options. These big, huge volatile bars every once in a while, they're basically untradeable with outright stock trades if you have a stop loss in place. With options, however, perhaps options your risk is always limited, and if you have an expiration date far enough out, these spikes they do happen, but then prices recover fairly quickly as well, and maybe even this could be an option strategy which you probably didn't even think about. Maybe even something like a strangle could not be a bad idea. Hoping that such a huge spike bar will happen at some point in the near future. And then, of course, if these spikes happen, one of your legs in the strangle, the call leg or the put leg, will be in the money by quite a bit. Then you would need to sell it right away. You have to be aware of it. Yeah. But I'm going to stay on the silence of this one as well. Too volatile. Then Vista Gold Corp. It's too cheap for me. It's at 90 cents. It's a penny stock. If you were to gamble, maybe. Nah. But yeah, these kind of stocks are typically not what I trade. This is not optionable. You have to go in outright and hoping that this stock will, make some substantial gains to the upside. I will stay on the sidelines of this one as well. All right, perfect. This is our hot list for the week ahead. Let's see what's gonna happen. And did I add this one? What did I do here for NFV? I was waiting for the gap fill. And oh, 1 second, guys. No, someone was ringing my door here. Almost got a heart attack. What did I want to say? Here I wanted to wait for this gap fill to happen. If it happens, we may see a further retracement to the downside. Yeah, we're gonna stay on the sidelines for this one for now. Okay, guys, any questions so far?
Yeah, so
I'll drink some water.
okay, we had these symbol requests back up here, and then Ed asked, "Do you ever look at insider buyer buying or selling?"
Currently not, but that's something we likely are going to add to the dashboard. So I do think this can be quite telling, especially if depending on who's showing inside activity, what's the position, how much was purchased, and at which moments in time, right before earnings or right before critical moments. Yes, these things potentially can be telling, and this is something we are likely to consider in the future.
Great. And then Osha wants to know, have you ever thought about adding the date of the subscription under account details, I guess, in the dashboard so that the trader or user can know when they need to renew their subscription?
That's a good idea. We don't have this data point. These are all based in a different system. Right now, not. But Moshe, if you send me an email, I'll show you the subscription at the management portal where you can just log in and see when your subscription renews and so forth.
Great. And then Moshe wants to know, can you do a follow-up on GBP NZD? So British pound, New Zealand dollar.
Yes. When did we call this one out?
Oh,
It
it was
does ring a bell.
a week ago, apparently. It was a retrace, probably a zone break retrace.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Let me see here my trade notes. A couple of weeks ago on April 12th. Let's see what we saw here. Yeah, upwards trend channel, zone break retrace of some sort. Yeah, let's see what happened. I have no idea. I have not looked at this symbol in a while. Let's close this real quick. Okay, moment of truth. What's happened here? Well, we're still in the neighborhood of this trend channel. So these are not exact sciences, but it's encouraging at least that prices are still in this neighborhood. They're hanging out here. And I still feel that this could go into the long direction. And when was April 12th? I was back here. Yeah, Zombrick retrace. We went a bit below this level, still at the low end of this trend channel. Yeah, I mean, it's still possible. It's, yeah, I mean, we're still in the neighborhood. These parallel trend channels, these are not exact science. Had I drawn this a little bit closer to these swing lows here, do this one, you see we're almost right at the lower end right now. So you always have to give it a bit more room. But yeah, it's still to me, it kind of feels still bullish, and we may see a nice upwards move in this FX pair.
Definitely. And then from Aubrey, he just says, hey, he's very bullish on Chile and has been waiting to get into that bank stock. And he says there's a 7% dividend
Oh,
on it.
great. Good to know. Yeah, we can actually let's check it out. 7% you say, Aubrey? Where was our great Chilean bank stock? Oops, take this out. All right. Where was it? Oh, Banco de Chile. Yes. Okay, let's check out the dividends by enabling the dividend columns here. Yeah, 7.13% dividends. The last dividend X day was in March, so the next one probably coming up soonish in May, 7% dividend. Let's have a quick look how these were paid out. All over the place, kind of, but at least only once a year. We missed it. Oh, look at this. These dividends are only paid out once a year. So, yeah, we definitely missed the train on this one to get into the next dividend cycle. It's only going to be in 2026. But this shows you guys how important it is to look at the dividend history. Yeah, you may have thought, hey, maybe I'm going to collect a dividend payment now in May. Typically, dividends are paid out every quarter or so, but this is not the case for this particular stock.
And
All
the next
right.
question was actually from Bappa, and it was a symbol request. So now we just have symbol requests left.
All right. Let's check some of them out. Yeah.
Perfect. So to start off, please, Apple and Amazon.
Yeah. Good old Apple. All right, let's have a look. Let me just quickly hide some of these columns here. All right. Okay. So bullish was for 527 trading days. We bounced off sharply this key support level down here at 164. And now we're kind of trading somewhat in the middle, in between support and resistance. Um, Yeah, it's definitely bullish. If we see another leg down towards this level, this would be ideal to go long Apple, and of course, Apple is a stock that looks good in every portfolio. I think that's a great stock from an investment point of view for looking at increase in stock price over time. But for a from a swing trading point of view, it's a bit uncertain what's going to happen. We are somewhat in the middle, in between some zones here, a bit rangy and bouncy. There's a gap to be filled to the upside here. Yeah, maybe bullish, but it's not a clear swing trading pattern. But from an investment point of view, this pullback which we've seen right now could be an interesting one to for a bullish move, but for a longer term perspective.
Perfect.
Okay.
And then the next one was Amazon.
Oh, Amazon, yeah. Amazon. All right. Bullish for since 436 trading days. Yeah, Amazon also not something I would trade from a swing trading point of view. We are approaching resistance here. You can see it. Prices are just going towards this level. May bounce off from this level. It is possible. And then you have to bounce here. So here I would wait for a long move at least until prices are above this level, and then we may see another, jump at all-time highs. But right now we're at this resistance level and prices may bounce off this level.
Thank you. And then the next one is TT. So double T, and it's called Train, the stock.
Train TT. Okay. We don't have this
Sorry,
one.
sorry, I was muted. TRANE,
Ah, yeah.
not like a normal train.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Not like a normal train. Found it. Oh, yeah. Look at this huge move up. Did they have earnings this week? Let me have a quick look at our earnings calendar here. What's going on with TT? Where'd it go? Earnings. There we go. Nope, not even. Okay, yeah, it definitely moved up quite a bit. Beautiful, actually. I'm sure we had this at some point for a bounce, no? Maybe not. But look at this beautiful bounce off this support level. Very nice. Long-term uptrend, bounce off. Now we are nearing this resistance level. So going long now is, I think, a bit risky. We also have a big gap here to fill. So I would wait potentially for a pullback. But yeah, that would have been a great trade for sure to have once prices were near this level. All right.
Perfect. And two more right here. Um, one is Lilly, Eli Lilly.
Yeah. LLY would have also a beautiful one. I think it's too late now. What a move that one did. Oh, actually retraced a little bit, but still, huge move up. Uh, when we called it out here, this was actually on a trade of the week from us in our newsletter. I know Aubrey took that trade. Congratulations, Aubrey. Huge move up, and now prices are coming down. And now the question is, all right, how far are we going to come down? There are a bunch of gaps here. Gap to the downside, gap to the upside. I guess it's anybody's guess now to which gap is going to get filled first. For sure, they will be filled. So maybe a strangle trade could not be the worst one. Huh? Prices are right in the middle, in between support and resistance. I'm certain price will be moving to either direction in the medium-term future. So if a well-chosen expiration date, I think a strangle could be just the right play here because that price is going to move from this level very like in the medium-term future, either towards here or either towards here.
Great. Yeah, what a odd chart. It looks pretty unpredictable. And the next one is Aubrey with MMYT,
MMYT.
India's Expedia. Earnings
Uh,
coming up.
okay. Earnings coming up. Okay, let's see when the earnings are coming up. Let me quickly hide our dividend columns here if we can find them. Oh, here we go. Oh, 15th. It's right here. Yeah, coming up indeed on May 15. Yeah. What is my take here? Bullish for 440 trading days. We're kind of just broken above this intermediate resistance level. The reason why this is not flagged as a zone break is because it's not the highest resistance level. This would be the highest one here. But yeah, it looks definitely very bullish. It looks like we bounced off nicely off these. Oh boy, so bullish, crazy. Yeah, great stock, by the way. This could have been a really good trade down here. Yeah, I think unfortunately it's a bit extended now from these lows. We may see a correction and earnings are coming up. So my take would be I would wait because I'm more conservative than perhaps most guys. Wait for the earnings to come up. If we see a correction to the downside, let's cross our fingers for this, then enter into this long trend. Because if earnings are good, prices shoot up, then I guess it's a bit too late. But I would wait until earnings come out, and then potentially play this stock to the upside.
Thank you. And the next one is from Kevin. If you're taking more requests, here's a symbol you probably never traded or heard of. It's called XSP. And
XSP.
yes, I'm not sure what kind of symbol it is, if it's a stock or not, but he just says it's becoming a popular day trading asset.
Okay, for day trading. Yeah, this is something we should discuss, Kevin, perhaps in our lunch and learn session. Since we're geared towards, yeah, oh boy,
I'm sure that's a different symbol right there than he's
yeah,
referencing.
maybe. Okay, yeah, let's put this one on the sidelines. Yeah, this looks strange. Okay.
Okay, and the next one is from Gernot or Gernot. He says the next week on Wednesday is a Fed IRD. Should we wait?
Interest rates coming on Wednesday. Yeah, I mean, definitely these decisions will shake the market. Um, I would definitely not day trade on these times, but I think if you have a valid technical setup right now, I would just go for it, despite the Fed's yeah interest rate decision on Wednesday. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, and then the next one, well, was just a comment from Kevin saying that Train we looked at, it's a big air conditioning company. Maybe as we go into hotter weather, that it could be a seasonal trade.
Yeah.
And I think perhaps, Daniel, if you go back to TradingView, just to not,
Air conditioning. Yeah.
if we go back, I think the XSP might be this symbol, S&P 500 Mini SPX Options Index.
All right. But how do I? Oh, I
So
have to
we
go to
click
all.
all, and because his
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Kevin's
Got it.
comment was, I'm just making sure I got it. He said he trades it with vertical. He watches it, and it's hard to read it, but trading vertical bull or bear spreads.
Okay.
I think it's a question.
Uh, hard for me to answer to analyze this real quick. What would be the best strategy here from a day trading point of view? But Kevin, let me take this away and let's look at it at our perhaps next live day trading workshop, where we have more of a day trading mindset and perhaps our lunch and learn session on Tuesday. Yeah, but good point. I'll check this one out. Yeah. All right. Great. Any other questions?
I'm taking a last look here. XSP, this is just a comment. Kevin, XSP is a cheaper version of SPX. Okay, well,
Okay.
definitely going to look into that. Thank you. And no other questions, though, Daniel.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, great. Great session. It was yeah, fun as always. Thanks for all your questions coming in. And yeah, a couple of announcements before we wrap up. And of course, if you have some last minute symbols, please put them in real quick. So, what are the announcements? First off, yeah, if you don't have our ebook yet, download it, please. The link is in the chat. If you don't have our dashboard yet, give it a try. 1 week free trial at tradingindicators.com/view. And if you decide to stay on, of course, we do have monthly and yearly options for it. Also, the Metastock live trading conference is starting off on Monday with yours truly, Daniel, the first one to speak at 10 a.m. Eastern Time this Monday at the Metastock conference, where we're going to scan for interesting setups using our super trend bullseye indicator. So if you want to see what this one is all about, check it out here. And you will need to register if you want to qualify for any of the free giveaways during the conference. You have to be registered. So please take advantage of that. And the bootcamp, of course, at tradingindicators.com/bootcamp. Why do I point this out? Because there's so many things built into the dashboard. In this session, we can only, use a few of those features. In the bootcamp, every single feature will be explained to you. And of course, Discord, if you haven't joined yet, please consider joining at tradingindicators.com/Discord. And if we missed out any questions, you can always reach me and us here at Trading Indicators via our homepage, tradingindicators.com. Main menu, go to contact, put your question into the contact form, and it will go straight to my inbox. And I will personally answer every single of your emails. All right. Perfect. Andrea says, thank you. Thank you, Andrea, for joining. And the bootcamp in German, I don't know, maybe at one time, at some point. Right now, it's in English. Hopefully, it's understandable. And Andrea, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer in German. If you're going to re-record the entire bootcamp in German, maybe, but no promises at this point, because it's always quite an effort to even record in German. Christian said, can you send webinar invites earlier? Yes, we actually do send them out a couple of days early, I believe. Maybe you missed it, Christian, or maybe just recently joined our group, but typically we send out these invites a couple of days in advance. Oh, Christian, yeah, this was definitely sent out earlier, the invite, I believe. Maybe not, but Christian, these webinars will always take place on the weekend. And if you join our Lunch and Learn sessions on Tuesday, you will see the exact time when it takes place. It's typically Saturday at 12 p.m. I can already tell you that next week, this time will change because I will be at a trading conference at the same time. But yeah, they always take place on the weekends. All right. Is still into Pacific Northwest. I'm not sure I understand this question. Is the link to download the free? Not sure what this question means. Maybe clarify. And again, it says I also get them very late. Okay, we'll make sure to send out the invitations a bit earlier. Thanks for the feedback on this one. Great. All right, guys. With this, I wish you all a nice Saturday afternoon or evening, depending on where you are, or perhaps night. And we all will talk on Tuesday for our Lunch and Learn session. And don't forget, a big announcement, Tuesday evening at 6 p.m., the Tech Talk on a special new thing. There's a bit of secrecy here that will come out here at Trading Indicators. So please don't miss out on this. We're very proud of it. What we're going to show you. So Tuesday at 6 p.m., our Tech Talk, of course, registration is free, and you should have all received a couple of emails to that regard already. All right, guys. With this, thanks, Nicholas, for joining us. Thank you, everyone, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.